She literally finds him laying on his bed, but not laying on his bed. He was literally levitating about half a meter above his bed. And she just started freaking the fuck out. Hey guys, welcome to another spooky video with Nata. I hope you guys do enjoy. I hope you guys missed me if you aren't new, and if you are new, welcome. Okay, if you guys haven't noticed already, I already finally got a new microphone. I have been longing to get this for a fucking long time. It is time, and it is very convenient, especially when I'm doing these scary fucking videos, because I can only just hear myself, and I'm just still getting used to the setup. I need to figure out how to set up everything behind me and around me, because I just splattered a little bit of everything that I like everywhere. Keep in mind that I already did record this video. I'm gonna re-record it because I just wanted the quality of the audio to be a lot more better, because my other mics that I had that were clip-ons, they weren't that good, and I just wanted to fix that. I wanted to make sure that everything was fixed, and I finally got a microphone. I'm very proud. If you do like the audio and the quality of this mic, I'm gonna go ahead and link it down below with my Amazon affiliate link, and it's very cheap because I really did want the Rode mic, which is around $100, nearly $100, and I found this one, and I looked at all the reviews, and I just only saw positive feedback on this, and I truly recommend it. And I'm using my Beats with my plugin, and I love the quality because I can hear myself, and I'm just sure about this shit, you know? I wanted to use this mic for the first time with this topic again. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this topic. I know I'm talking a lot, so let's just get on to the video. I'm gonna get my notes. If only y'all know the shit that I wrote down in my fucking diary. Before we get into the video, always watch this in the dark, because it does. If you hear my sister, I'm super sorry. I'm very sorry. Remember to always watch this in the dark, because it does not make sense to watch this with a light on. And remember, there's always somebody under you. There's always somebody under you, or behind you, or maybe even both. I would check. I believe this is a true story, and the person that was involved in this story, I genuinely do believe that this is true, because I'm gonna get a little backstory on the talk show. Okay, so this was a very popular Mexican talk show called Mano Peluda, and the episode, I believe, is called Clarita, which is the mom that is calling in. So this is a Mexican paranormal radio show that people would call in and share their paranormal and weird stories, and it's really creepy. I haven't heard a lot of them. This was the first actual one that I heard, and actually really just fucked with me for a long time. Oh my god, the burps are gonna be so much such good quality. So people call in, they share their story, and this is a lady named Clarita calling in regards to her son, who seems to not be himself lately. This is a Spanish audio call, so I'm basically gonna translate it and explain this whole case. Her 15-year-old son, I don't know her name. She said in the beginning, I don't know if she meant that was his name or if he was a scout, but I just heard the word scout, and I don't know if she meant a name, so I'm just gonna assume that she didn't share his name. She was basically calling in, and she just sounds so sad and scared and freaked out. She's still trying to keep herself put together, but she really can't, and you're gonna see why. And she's calling in about her son. So she's saying that he's always been such a good kid, and he's always been good with his grades, a very loyal kid to his family as well. And he even won some first place prize for something in his academics.
Hijo es scout. Un chico pues de lo normal, con una calificación en la escuela pues de 9. El año pasado me sacó un promedio de primer lugar. Y ahora todo lo que acontece en mi casa él lo sabe. Yo sé que ahorita usted no me lo va a creer.
She was basically saying he's always been a good kid. And then he recently got involved with playing the Ouija board. And she's calling in and she's basically talking about saying that no one's gonna believe her story, and she just seems very like hopeless. And she's just recalling and saying that no one's gonna believe her. But I guess this was her last option to speak with Mr. Victor Manuel and share her story, just at least so she can be heard of. I don't know why, but I just have a very big theory on this story, and I'm gonna tell you guys in the very end, so please watch the whole video, please, because I have a very interesting theory about this story. Since this is a story about her son playing the Ouija board, she says that her son started to do weird things and creepy things that, she couldn't really explain. Her son would be aware of things before these things were even notified to him or his mom. In a weird case, one time his mom's sister, Clarita's sister, had actually fallen and hurt herself, and her son was the one who notified her. And the weird thing about this is that her sister lives in a whole other state or another city, and he knew this before the sister herself even notified both of them. So he would know stuff, like he would just know things. He even knew before someone would visit them, and he would tell the mom like, oh, so and so is at the door, go open the door, and that person wasn't even at the door yet. He just knew stuff before.
Todo lo que, si tocan a la puerta, él me dice, mamá, ábrele que fulanita ya llegó. Y todavía ni siquiera sabemos quién es, porque no ha llegado ni a la puerta. El otro día se cayó mi hermana, y mi hermana vive en Cancún. Antes que me dieran la noticia me la dijo.
And when she starts to notice these kinds of things, she just assumes to herself, I think the right thing to do is throw the Ouija board. So she tries to do that, and her son goes up to her and tells her to not get involved with it. Like, I guess she was even more scared at the fact that he said that, and he tells her, and I quote, it's a Spanish quote, he says, no te metas con eso, which means don't get involved with it. Like, basically, don't fuck with the Ouija board.
Yo tiré la ouija, pero no aún fuera de lugar, sino al tirar quiere decir que la arrojé. Me dijo, no lo hagas, mamá, no te metas con ella. Pasó.
And another thing that she noticed is that he never really sleeps, and he never really eats. Like how I was saying before, he would always notify the mother of things before, he even had the ability to recuperate. What's the word? He basically had the ability to know things before things were even notified or said.
Y ahorita todas las noches no me despierto, casi no duerme, come muy poquito. Y hace 3 días mi hermano también tuvo otro problema. Todo me lo notifica, todo me lo dice.
And he keeps also mentioning for her not to get involved with the Ouija board. He even started growing excessively. He was around 1.60 meters and grew up to 1.82 meters. So I'm not really good with math, but I think that is a very drastic increase in height, and that is fucking creepy.
Ella dice que no me meta yo con esa tabla, que esa tabla no es un pedazo de madera, pero ya no es igual. Él tiene 15 años, medía unos 60, ahorita ya mide unos 82.
And even then, throughout the whole call, she just sounds more and more frantic, more and more afraid to speak. You know, I guess she just didn't want. She didn't want for her son to hear because her son was actually in the house. He keeps saying stuff to her that she doesn't understand, and I didn't really understand that line when I heard her say that. I was just thinking of two things. Maybe he just tells her these messages and she doesn't understand, or maybe he genuinely does speak in tongues and she just doesn't understand that. That is fucking creepy. If he's speaking in tongues, that is just so fucking creepy.
Yo me siento muy desesperada, señor Víctor, que dice muchas cosas que no le entiendo. Me costó mucho trabajo comunicar.
This is where things start to get very intense in the phone call. So she's towards the end of her story, like sharing her part. And this is all happening like within that, like it's all recent. Like all these things that are happening to her are so recent, which led her. This last event is what led her to call the talk show. I believe it was that night, and she tells him to go to sleep. And when she goes to check on her son, she literally finds him laying on his bed, but not laying on his bed. He was literally levitating about half a meter above his bed. And she just started freaking the fuck out. I would too. He's laying down on his bed, half a meter above. And she began to like ramble and freak out, and she was saying that no one's gonna believe her, and she just sounded so scared and didn't like know what to do or say as she was sharing the story. It made me feel so bad because I can imagine being in that situation and not knowing what to do.
Me dijo, sí, mamá, nos vamos a juntar mucha gente y vamos a ayudar. Tú no te preocupes, ya duérmete. Y ahorita que me asomé no me lo va a creer. Está levitando. Fíjate que le dice como medio metro elevado del piso. Y no importa que le hagan ruidos ni nada. Ella me dijo que eso ni lo ve, ni lo oye, ni lo siente. Por favor, si hay alguien que me pueda decir a dónde acudir.
O sea que en este momento él está levitando.
Mire, él está acostado y está levantado medio metro de su cama.
And she even says that since he was a smart kid, his intelligence, he didn't fail anymore. He still didn't. I guess she was still taking him to school. He wasn't failing his classes. He was actually even doing better because he was always a smart kid, and I guess he got even smarter because probably the demon inside of him was making him inhabit all the knowledge of that demon. And she's just like rambling like all over the place. She's even saying that he seems to be dead but levitating on his bed. The host tells her to calm down because she's just rambling all these things that are happening to him and her. And the host is just telling her she needs to calm down, and you're gonna see why he tells her to calm down.
Le repito, el año pasado era un muchacho totalmente, no ha bajado en sus calificaciones, al contrario, ha agudizado más su inteligencia, es más, pero lo que me tiene impresionado es ahorita. Haga de cuenta que está como muerto, pero está elevado medio metro de su cama. Créamelo, señor Víctor Manuel.
Señora, lo que primero necesita usted es calma.
She starts mentioning that she's on call with her phone. Like, I guess it was when there was landlines connected to the wall, like the phones. She had the cord pulled as further outside of the door as she could because she had the she wanted to run. She was so afraid that she wanted to run from her own house and abandon her possessed son. And same, I probably would do that too.
Por favor, ¿viven ustedes dos solos?
Vivo sola, pero le digo una cosa. jale lo más posible el teléfono a la calle, porque tengo unas ganas de salir corriendo. Me da mucho miedo, yo nunca había visto esto, Dios mío.
Bueno, mire, vamos a enviarle ahorita a algunas personas.
De 1,82 m ya, y cada día crece más, pero ya no en una forma normal.
And I don't know, that's just so fucking scary. I don't even think I would have the ability to stay in that house after seeing my son fly, you know, like I don't know. And the host starts to ask her for where she lived because he wanted to send people. And I think this is where the thing that's possessing the son starts to get annoyed or mad, because he's asking and she's still like sharing her story. She starts talking about a situation where her son had mocked the teacher, and the teacher, he had like, because the teacher had done a mistake in school and he started mocking the teacher.
15 años y mide 1,82.
15 años. Sacó el segundo lugar en escuela el año pasado y ahora no le miento. Hoy le dio una clase a su maestra de matemáticas y se vino burlando porque me dijo, mira mamá, la maestra de matemáticas se equivocó, yo le enseñé.
And I don't know if this situation happened in school, like around that same day where he mocked the teacher, or it was at home, but she said something like about a pendulum appearing on the ceiling, and I don't really understand it, but I think that's just really creepy that it started to form on the ceiling or something like that.
Y de repente, ¿sabe qué ha hecho? En la azotea se pone como péndulo, así de un lado a otro. Yo no sé qué hacer.
So the host basically starts to explain to Clarita that, you know, your son fucked up. Like, your son fucked up with the Ouija board, and that thing that he was speaking to on the board possessed him, and you need to remain calm, because if you do not remain calm, you're the one who's gonna end up on the worst side of the plate. So she tries to calm down.
¿Qué hago, señor Víctor Manuel? Perdóneme, estoy muy nerviosa.
No, por supuesto que debe estar muy nerviosa, sobre todo que es su hijo y lo ve que está en problemas, porque la verdad es que lo que ha sucedido con él por estar trabajando con la Ouija es que alguien se introdujo en su cuerpo y ahora le está usando a él.
No me hace nada, no rompe nada.
No, ya sé.
No, señor Víctor Manuel.
Pero la tensión en que usted está, los nervios en que usted está, es capaz de que sea usted la que termine mal y no él. Entonces yo le suplico que se calme, que se tranquilice.
This part is like the most intense and scary. I genuinely do think that this did happen. He's telling her that she needs to calm down and all that. And then he starts to proceed to ask again for the address. And when he asks for the address again, so he could send his people, she starts to freak out because her son starts to approach her. And she's like, I'm going, sweetie, I'm going, sweetie. And she's like freaking out, like even more, like, I'm going, sweetie. And the host is like, your son is there? And she was like, yes, but crying like really, really bad. And she's just freaking out because her son's approaching her. The reason why she's freaking out is because her son was approaching her, like walking up to her without touching the floor. He was basically flying to her. And she started freaking out. Like, she was like, oh my God, nobody's gonna believe me, what I'm seeing. Like, nobody's gonna believe this. And she's just freaking out.
Vamos a nos da usted su domicilio, por favor.
Sí, como no.
Y que le vayan a dar una vuelta para que se sienta usted tranquila. Y...
Espérate, mijito, espérate. Mire.
¿Ahí está su hijo?
Sí. Es que no me lo cree, no me lo cree, está caminando sin pisar, no me lo cree, no me lo cree, no me lo cree, no me lo cree nadie, no, no me lo cree, no me lo cree, no me lo cree, no me lo va a creer nadie, esto no me lo cree nadie.
And this is towards the end of the phone call where the phone ends. And she just keeps freaking out. And right before the phone call ends, you can hear the words ten calma, which means be calm. Like in a very deep, husky, raspy voice. It is me editing this current video. I know I kind of fucked up a little bit, but in the audio where we hear the words ten calma, it's actually during the middle of the call, which is even more creepier. I don't really know how the call ended, but from what I'm seeing is those words, ten calma, were said throughout the phone call when she's asking him, what do I do? You kind of have to go back into the video. If you want to see the actual video of the phone call, you have to look, like it's towards the middle of the call, but it's not towards the end of the call where they hear that. Just wanted to clarify that before I fuck up anymore.
Señora, tranquila.
Dios mío, no me lo cree esto nadie. ¿Qué hago, señor Víctor Manuel? ¿Qué hago, señor Víctor Manuel? ¿Qué hago, señor Víctor Manuel?
Prueba número 1, velocidad original. Prueba número 2, bajándole un 30% de velocidad.
And I don't know if that was the sun or the demon. And that is basically how the call ends. And from what I've heard is that nobody has heard from Clarita ever since. That is fucking scary. And you know how I said that I have a theory, and it's kind of fucked up, but the theory that I have is, what if Clarita's the one who was actually possessed? And the thing that was possessing her, like maybe it was like using both of them as puppets, but I think she was the main one, and that thing maybe wanted to be known or something. I don't know. I believe her, half of me, but then half of me also thinks like, what if it's the demon that called? Or what if it wasn't even her? Maybe there's so many things that come to my mind. Maybe it was her spirit. Maybe she died and she just called. I don't know. I'm just thinking about a lot of things. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this story? And if you did find it interesting, and if you want me to share more of these episodes, I'll be glad to do so, because these are super scary and very interesting. I do think that this is a true story. It may have a different background, or maybe a different it probably is an entirely different situation. You never know. But then, like, hearing that, like, if you hear that story fully by yourself with earphones in the dark, I don't know what it is with Ouija boards and possessed people, but that's just something you do not mess with. If you are ever interested in playing the Ouija board, please do your research and make sure that you have 120% trust that you are protected at all times, because one vulnerable moment, or you, like, even just you feeling sad one day while you are doing these things, will make you the most vulnerable, and you will get someone possessed. If it's not you, it's going to be somebody around you that's even more vulnerable. But you're basically fighting so many things, so that's why you need to make sure that you know what you're doing, because you're inviting all these things, and those evil things are just only gonna latch onto the weakest link in the household. Yeah, good luck. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give this a thumbs up and show some love down in the comments. If you have any scary stories, please share them to me. I'm always on TikTok, a little bit on Facebook page and Instagram, and I do share some stuff on Pinterest as well. I have some of my favorite products or products that I'm wanting to try on my Pinterest account, so check out my Pinterest account too. Like, show some love, please. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Have a great night, have a great day. I love you guys. And stay tuned for more spooky content and maybe funny content. I don't know, but yeah, bye guys.